I know, bad lighting, but what can you do? Hello guys, welcome, or if you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I'm the Philadelphia Whovian, and right now we're doing this video in my work environment, so that explains the bad lighting and why I am not wearing makeup. What can you do? And this is part 2 of why the 13th Doctor's casting was more regressive than progressive. This is a continuation of a previous video. So if you guys are starting this video, do not start this video. Go watch the first one and then come back to me. And once again, I'm going to return to what I've said before. With this video, I respect those people who completely disagree with me as long as you allow me to feel what I feel as well, and do not think because I do not think as you, therefore I am wrong. Truth is not a singular thing. It is a plural thing. If you cannot accept it in others, even when they disagree with you, you miss the point of what truth is in general. You really have. Truth is about believing what you feel while understanding other people have the right to have a different truth than your own. Those people think the 13th Doctor's casting is progressive. Jodie Whittaker, Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker's fans, the BBC. If you think it's progressive, you have a right to feel as you do. I am not taking that from you. I'm simply choosing to believe as I wish to believe, based and connected to my own feelings, and that's it. Independent of what other people feel, because I have that right. Now, branching off of part 1, those quotes I gave about when it came to the book I was reading to you of Doctor Who, The Unfolding Text, I did those quotes not because they're my guiding light where I based everything I believe around them. No, I already thought those things to begin with. It was just simply that they said it better than I did. So I wasn't using those as, something that I was blindly putting my faith in. I already felt those things. It's simply the book said it better than I could have ever said it. Okay. Now, going back to the next idea, when I said before about the idea of people using the Doctor as their battleground for their gender politics or their gender battles, where they're using the Doctor to fight their gender wars amongst ourselves, I said that did cheapen his character, and I do feel like it possibly stuck to that to this very day, but I feel like it therefore possibly makes us feminists or women look shallow or look inconsiderate or even willfully ignorant of the Doctor's own history, his own persona, his behavior. Sorry for not talking directly to the camera, but got the lighting on bleed here, trying to get some lighting on me, so looking other directions because the lighting is glaring at me. But when it comes to this concept of, again, using the Doctor as this victory for progressivism, because now the Doctor is a female. What victory? I feel like this victory, because it was done at the expense, or it was done in a way where it felt like so much was lost while it was being achieved. Yes, Jodie Whittaker is playing the Doctor, but because of our lack of comprehension of the Doctor, or us potentially cheapening the Doctor and making the Doctor the battleground to our gender politics and our gender wars, more has been lost possibly than it has been gained, making the victory feel flat, hollow, almost Pyrrhic. A Pyrrhic victory is a victory where, yes, you won, but so much was lost in the process that it might as well have not been a victory. So I can't help but there's something Pyrrhic about this victory. And going back to what I said before about the Doctor, the idea of the Doctor being a woman, being progressive to you, when it's like, for me, and this is something that I have done in previous videos, I'm sorry for being redundant here for those who have seen my previous videos, but some people who might watch this perhaps have not seen my previous videos, so I have to repeat myself. There is a sectionalized portion of the audience, or Jodie Whittaker, Chibnall, and BBC themselves, that because the Doctor was male up until this point, now having a female as the Doctor, we are finally becoming fully progressive. I find that to be shallow in one main way. There have been plenty of strong women in the show of Doctor Who What were you doing waiting for the doctor to be female? And why were you not noticing all these women who were strong to begin with as women? You have to understand me. I was not waiting for the doctor to be a woman to feel like we were being progressive. You know why? Because all of the many female companions who came before her, I admired many of them, and their name may not have been the doctor, but it didn't need to be the doctor. They were the doctor because of their own heroic actions and behaviors. They were the doctor, even if it wasn't their name. Hold on. Not really. Doing a video. Sorry, I'm back now. Had to let in my fellow coworkers. Doing a YouTube video over here. That's Thomas Jefferson over there. Yes, okay. So when it comes back to this video, I'm sorry guys, back now. Okay. You see, okay, the doctor, the name of the doctor, it's just a name. It's all about the actions. And because when it comes to Doctor Who, there were so many strong women, but who, yes, their name happened to not be the doctor, it didn't matter. They were the doctor to me. Barbara was a doctor because she was awesome. Polly, definitely the doctor. Vicky was the doctor because of how she softened the first doctor. Zoe was so the doctor, by God. Liz Shaw was the doctor. Sarah Jane Smith was the doctor. Leela was definitely the doctor. Romana was definitely the doctor. Dear God, why didn't we just do a show about her? Honestly, why did we not just do a show about Romana? Thank you, Thomas Jefferson. He let in my fellow co-workers. Okay. Now, and I think John Adams is about to come behind me. Yeah. John Adams, everybody! All right. Second President of the United States. Okay, he's not the president yet, but still, he will be. Okay, sorry. Back to the video at hand. Okay, sorry guys. I know it's hard. What can you do? I'm working here. I'm working. Okay, so back to the idea of it. And also, Romana again was the doctor. Perry was the doctor. Ace was totally the doctor. And also Nisa was definitely the doctor to me. And I was okay with Mel. And then you've hit... Okay. You see this American flag that just got lowered down behind me? That was lowered by a certain gentleman by the name of Hurry. Yeah, his last name is Hurry. It's the character's name. It's a real last name, it turned out. Now he's walking away. See? Flag done. Okay. Now I'm back again. This is not the best video. I'm sorry, guys. I know it's not. Okay, back again. Here we go. And then with New Who, Martha is the only reason I watch Series 3. Literally, I mean, I love Series 3. It's actually one of my favorite seasons of New Who, but she was the main reason I did watch the show. She was the doctor. Donna was the doctor. Amy was the doctor. Clara was the doctor. And Bill, in some ways, definitely was the doctor too. My point is, these women were already strong to me and were amazing to me, and therefore, they were the doctor even if it wasn't their name. If you wait around for a male to be turned into a woman to finally feel like you've arrived at progressivism, you missed out on all these great women who came before that and who were already doing great things. And by so doing, you cheapened the idea of feminism because you were so busy waiting for this ideal of a female role model. You didn't see we already had those female role models all along. And therefore, for me, missing a vital asset about what feminism actually is. We had women who were awesome and who were the doctor already, just simply as women. Just their name wasn't the doctor. But what are you doing waiting for the doctor's name to be slapped on a woman? Why do you need to have that so much? Why can't it just be, so what, her name is not the doctor? She still might as well be the doctor. And again, this is in response to many times I saw people criticize many female companions. This companion was to this companion was to this. And mind you, I'm not talking about the idea of not liking a companion. It's okay to not like a companion. It's okay. It's okay. There's one companion from New Who I do not like, but it's not because she's a bad depiction of women. Oh, she's a very accurate depiction of women. It's just that in real life, I know many women who are like her, and they just were always the women who were very narcissistic or had ended up having narcissistic tendencies where other people got hurt because of their actions. And as a result, or they got hurt because of their actions, but the women never fully apologized for them. I've met people like that. The only reason I do not like that companion is because of what that companion could be like sometimes in regards to leading to others getting hurt, etc. and so forth. Just that. That's all it is. Okay. And so, but again, it's okay to not like certain females, but when I see the sectionalized portion, I'm only talking about a sectionalized portion of the fan base, constantly knocking female companions down because of these small imperfections that don't amount to anything. They're just because the female is human, so she's not going to be perfect in the way you want her to be. And you were so busy focusing on what she was not, you were not focusing on what she was, because you weren't, consistently, you weren't saying goodbye to John Adams. Bye, John Adams. Goodbye. Thank you. Saying you consistently weren't. I will. He told me to leave on the air condition. I will. Because you, that sectionalized, were waiting for a woman to have been a man first, to have had a sex change, and to be called the doctor. I'm not going to really care much about your branch of feminism because it wasn't appreciating the women before it, but in some way was degrading the women before it or ignoring the women before it. See what I'm getting at? That's just how I feel. And also, when it comes to this situation as well, I am also a product of my times. I was born in the 80s. In the 80s, I admit, again, being a person of my time, I'm perfectly fine with it. You see, in our time, you had every now and again, you had male characters who were strong and they were barbaric or awesome, but then, through their success, and into the 80s and 90s, this happened. Then a female character would be created that was just as cool as he was, given her own either a toy line or her own show. It wasn't just taking the male and making him a female. It was, okay, we've got a male awesome character, let's make a female awesome character and build everything up on her. And every now and again, you had things like Xena, Warrior Princess, with Xena, Gabrielle, and Callisto, three incredibly iconic women in the 90s. And it was from people believing a woman, as a woman, not having a sex change first, as a woman could lead the show herself, and they put all this confidence in the show, and it's still an iconic character. Xena, Gabrielle, Callisto, still iconic. You don't have to replace the man or make a man to a woman, just have the confidence to make us woman and then forward it and put all of this effort into making a show for her at that same time that the show for the man is going on. Give equal representation. That's what I'm going for here. And again, back to what I said again before, I still respect people who disagree with me, but when we get to the point, and this is going to happen to me at some point, where you feel like I am wrong and therefore because I am not agreeing with you, I have no right to speak or think as I do. This is the reason why, when it came to those videos that were coming out a few months ago about how Doctor Who fandom was becoming toxic, here's why I pushed that, or I fought against that, and I will always do so. Because of this concept of cultish behavior that can come from calling other people toxic that disagree with you, even if that disagreement can become vehement. You should never throw the word toxic out there when it comes to people disagreeing with you. I know it sucks. I know sometimes people can be a little too passionate in how they disagree with you. I know it's hard. I really do. But you have to not say that, because doing so can snowball and lead to the oppression of freedom of speech and therefore suppression of critical thinking and leading to cognitive dissonance once more. Again, this leads to cultish situations. And you're thinking I'm being extreme? No, I'm not. Cults are not always easy to identify as you think. There is a video here on YouTube, is Why Do People Join Cults by Ted Ed. I would recommend, if you haven't seen it, go seeing it, because it really shows cultish traits in people, how they're very good at sucking you in, but one of the main things is suppressing of the critical thinking side of our brain and creating cognitive dissonance, as well as taking away the freedom of speech because you're afraid of disagreeing with the group. See? And this was squelched out of me at a young age. I mean, I've had my problems where I've agreed with the wrong people, but again, this was taught to me by a feminist, a white woman. I've mentioned her before, where she was constantly trying to make sure we women understood it was okay to disagree with other women. It was completely okay. Very okay, because she didn't want us to suffer from what she suffered from. She had experiences where she would have feminist groups when she was younger. She was a part of feminist groups, and she said they were very much like a cult, it turned out, and she had to separate herself from them. And I'm sorry for repeating myself, as I've done in previous videos, but she's the woman who said, beware of sometimes other feminists, or because they use their platform to suppress your own voice as a woman. And again, there's a slither of sexism or racism or prejudice in their beliefs, where they try to push men away instead of understanding it's about including men and women at the same time. But also, they say they're all about women's rights, but are they fully about women's rights, or are they fully about their rights? Only their rights, in using you as a vanity project to build themselves up, when the only person they're really building up is themselves. She was a white female who's not only said it to white women, but to us black people, because she was worried about us being victimized under feminists who were using us as their political platform, when in reality they were using us as a vanity project to build themselves up. When she said, and she said this very well, she said, look closely at feminists. Some definitely are about feminism, equality, and diversity, yes, but sometimes, a lot of time, the feminist is using you, be you a woman or a person of color, as their political platform to make themselves look good, but the only person they're fully building up is themselves. They're using you. It's a very fine line, but you gotta look closely. You have to look closely at it, because if you do not look closely, you can fall victim to that harmful conformity. And that's why, even if I disagree with you, people like me are important. This is not my pride speaking. We are important because we spawn, or we encourage, that critical thinking. Even you guys who disagree with me in my channel, I will still love you and think you are beautiful, as long as you respect that I have the right to disagree with you, because you're exercising your right to be a critical thinker. I just simply disagree with you, but if we respect each other, we are doing the right thing, because we see the beauty of difference and the beauty of people who see differently than we do. We do. I will respect what you feel as long as you respect what I feel. And then coming to the last part of this video, those who do not respect what I feel. Those who do not respect those who believe different than you, as long as they respect what you feel as well. If you're coming onto this video and you've already had a preconceived notion of what you were going to say, even when you're not going to react to anything I did in the video, you didn't even listen to the video, or you did not listen to the full video. You already knew what you were going to put in the comment section, so you prepared for it. I'm going to ask you to answer this. If you do not, in any way, shape, or form, confront this question, you do not, it's obvious you did not either A, watch the video, you just commented, or you did not watch the whole video. But answer this video. You're talking about the 13th Doctor being progressive for diversity. Tell me, and this is only for those people who are going to attack me for believing differently than you. If you respect that I disagree with you and you're fine with it, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those people who find me toxic for disagreeing with you. Tell me something. The 13th Doctor was cast as Jodie Whittaker, a Caucasian blonde-haired female. Tell me what was so very progressive in every way about the idea of the 13th Doctor's casting, showing me that BBC is all about being progressive as long as the lead is still white. See, if you have the right to question the Doctor being a male, why is the Doctor still, for me, fine, I can give you this political question back. Why is it okay? Because you just showed me that you'll go for diversity, BBC, Jodie, Chris, as long as the Doctor is still white. And if you're going to say, oh, they're going to cast a person of color after the 13th Doctor, A, you do not know that, but B, the Doctor has been in conversations of the Doctor being played by an African, Asian, Mexican, Hispanic guy before this since the 80s, but why has it still not been done? Please answer that question. If you're going to attack me, no, I want to hear back, because all this showed me is BBC was all about diversity as long as the Doctor is still Caucasian. That's the only reason I'm asking that question, is if you attack me. Again, guys, I'm okay if you disagree with me, but only answer the question if you're going to attack me for disagreeing with you. Guys, thank you so very much. You were awesome. Sorry for the bad lighting. Bye, guys. Again, you're awesome. You were great. Bye, guys.